Number 1. Erskins' early prototype serum. In 1940, while being forced to work for the Nazis, German scientist Dr. Abraham Erskine finalized his first prototype of a serum that would enhance human strength and abilities to superhuman levels. Johann Schmidt, the head of the SS Research Division Hydra, forcibly took and used the imperfect formula on himself. While it indeed gave him enhanced strength, it also demonstrated severe side effects in the form of physical disfigurement. Schmidt also seems to have not aged a day after 7 decades on Vormir, although that's probably due to the Infinity Stone's immortality curse rather than as an effect of the super serum. Number 2. Erskine's perfected serum. After escaping to the U.S., Erskine worked alongside young industrialist Howard Stark on Project Rebirth, a government operation to create super soldiers for the Allied forces. This time, Vita Rays was added to stabilize the serum's effects while unlocking its full potential. Their one and only subject was Steve Rogers in 1943. The serum boosted all of his physical capabilities, increased his muscle mass, and cured him of all his illnesses. This project ended with the assassination of Erskine, taking the secret of his original formula to the grave. Number 3. Hydra's Super Serum, created by Arnim Zola. As it turned out, Hydra's scientists did manage to somewhat replicate Erskine's formula in the midst of the war, and used captured Allied soldiers as their test subjects. The only known survivor of this experiment was Bucky Barnes, who was captured by Hydra and administered the serum in 1943. It gave him super strength on par with Steve Rogers, and later enhanced further with a cybernetic metal arm and brainwashing that made him a cold-blooded killer. Number 4. The super serum recreated by the U.S. military in the 1950s. Following the end of World War II and the disappearance of Steve Rogers, the U.S. military began their efforts in recreating Erskine's lost formula. They unethically used several of their black soldiers as test subjects, without consent, on the guise of giving tetanus shots. This unstable new formula had severe adverse effects, with Isaiah Bradley becoming the only member of his unit to survive and remain stable from the serum injections. Bradley proved to be a success, being powerful enough to nearly end the Winter Soldier during his prime. And the Centenarian looks decades younger, despite being about the same age as Steve and Bucky, who had undergone cryostasis. Number 5. The Super Serum recreated by Howard Stark. As a participant of the original project that created Captain America, Howard had access to related classified SHIELD files and was shown to possess the last surviving sample of Steve Rogers' blood.
What's in the vial?
Steve Rogers' blood.
This enabled him to recreate Erskine's original formula after decades of research. Unfortunately, Hydra had Howard killed, and they used the stolen serum on their new batch of Winter Soldiers in 1991 as part of a joint Hydra-Soviet secret program. One of their participants, Joseph, was shown to even be strong enough to overpower Bucky. Number 6. The Biotech Force Enhancement Project, otherwise known as Project Gamma Pulse, led by scientists Dr. Bruce Banner and Dr. Betty Ross, under the command of General Thunderbolt Ross. Following 9/11, the U.S. military decided to restart another super soldier program as a response to perceived outside threats to the nation. For his experiment, Dr. Banner used excessive gamma rays instead of the original Vita rays to unlock the recreated serum's potential in 2005. The overabundant gamma radiation that was absorbed into his blood cells turned him into a green monster with over 100 times the strength of any super soldier. The transformation also came with a separate personality, which Bruce managed to merge with his consciousness years later.
I'm bleeding.
Number 7. Another unstable super serum variant that was kept locked away by the U.S. military. It was used on Captain Emil Blonsky in 2010 and was administered via painful deep tissue and bone marrow injections. Initially, the serum seemed to work, turning Blonsky into a super soldier capable of incredible physical feats. He was also capable of super regeneration, fully recovering from a fatal multi-trauma injury inflicted by the Hulk in less than 24 hours. However, this version of the serum had several side effects, including both physical and mental deterioration, such as a protruded spine and aggression. With the help of Dr. Samuel Stearns, the serum that was already inside Blonsky would be combined with Bruce Banner's blood. This cocktail of unstable ingredients transformed him further into the hideous monster known as the Abomination. Number 8. The Soviet Super Soldier Serum. During the later years of the Cold War, the Soviet Union was somehow able to recreate their version of the serum, with Alexei Shostakov as the sole recipient. As the Soviet Union's official super soldier, Shostakov was sent on missions as the Red Guardian. Given that the old Winter Soldier program was a joint Hydra-Soviet program, it can be presumed that this is how the Soviets managed to recreate their version of the serum's formula, either from Bucky's blood or through Arnim Zola. Number 9. The Centipede Serum, as seen in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Another one of Hydra's secret attempts of recreating their own version of the Super Soldier Serum. It involved a centipede-like device attached to the test subject's arm that injects a formula derived from a super serum variant that they created, mixed with the extremis virus plus gamma radiation, among other things. And the formula would later be updated again with the addition of the blood of a Kree alien and an inhuman with regenerative healing abilities. The serum was seen used by many characters, most notably Deathlock. The users gained abilities such as enhanced strength and regenerative healing, and it augmented the existing superpowers of people who already had them to begin with.
Did I beat Captain America's time?
Not even close.
Number 10. Nagel's Super Serum, as seen in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Dr. Wilfred Nagel had been researching a way to recreate the serum for years, whilst under the employment of Hydra, and then the CIA. By 2018, he had successfully perfected the formula, partly due to having access to Isaiah Bradley's stored blood kept by the CIA. In 2024, under the employment of Power Broker, Nagel had created several super serum vials that were then stolen and used by Carly Morgenthau and the Flag Smashers, and one remaining one used by John Walker. Arguably, Nagel's version of the serum could be considered the best, as it gave its recipients all the usual powers of a super soldier without any physical changes to their musculature, and without any adverse side effects. Also, only one small vial injection was needed to achieve a permanent result, with no need for radiation exposure or birthing pods. Apart from the Super Soldier Serum, the MCU has introduced many other rather similar strength-enhancing formulas that we'll just mention briefly here. Calvin Szabo's formula, the Patriot Serum, Hydra's Super Serum in the framework, IGH's gene editing experiments, and their combat-enhancing pills, the Seagate Prison Experiments, Killian's Extremis Virus, Wakanda's Heart-Shaped Herb, Whatever Experiment that created Titania, and Ox Group's Project Sentry that gave Bob Reynolds his powers. In a future video, we'll talk more about all these different experiments and how some of them are related to the original Super Soldier program.